Hi there! Today we're going to make desserts because, you know, there's nothing like a dessert to help you with your summer beach body. So today we're going to make peanut butter cookies. Everybody makes chocolate chip cookies, but let me tell you something. Peanut butter cookies are amazing. They are so rich and they're so delicious, and they are the easiest things in the entire world to make. So we'll start off with peanut butter cookies, and then we're also going to make a strawberry and cream parfait. Super easy to whip up. And then we're gonna make chocolate croissants. They are so easy to make with puff pastry and chocolate chips, and honestly, you can whip them up just like that. So first up, peanut butter cookies. Here's what you're gonna need. A list, okay? Okay, so here's the list of stuff you need. You need a cup of butter, you need a cup of sugar, regular white sugar, and you need a cup of brown sugar packed real tightly. And then you need 2 eggs, you need 2 cups of peanut butter, a little bit of salt, about a tablespoon of vanilla, and 3 cups of flour. Now, having said all that, I have a big family and they love peanut butter cookies. So that's a doubled recipe. If you want to do just one recipe, then just cut everything in half. And it's super easy to make, so let's make some peanut butter cookies. Okay, peanut butter cookies. Here's the cool thing about peanut butter cookies. Pretty much you have everything you need for them in your kitchen anyway. Now, I like smooth peanut butter. I do not like chunky peanut butter. If you like chunky peanut butter, use that in this recipe. Here's the one thing you don't want to use in this recipe. Organic or like hippie peanut butter. It's way too soft, it will not hold up, and your cookies will never bake. So use regular old commercial peanut butter, okay? No hippie peanut butter. Okay, so first thing you need to do, remember, this is a doubled recipe, okay? So I've got a cup of butter, and it has to be really soft. I mean, like totally room temperature. And don't stick it in the microwave because you really do need that body of the butter. So pull it out for like in half an hour before you do your cookies, up to an hour, and that will be the perfect consistency. And then you need to put in the brown sugar, and that's a cup of packed brown sugar. And then you need a cup of white sugar. Yummy. Okay, you're gonna cream these together. I'm using the big mixer because this is kind of a stiff batter. And honestly, it's gonna break your handheld mixer. You're going to really need to have a decent sized mixer because it will blow out your motor in your little handheld mixer. How do I know that? Because I've done it 3 times. So learn from my mistakes. Use a big mixer. And you want to get this pretty well creamed. Put this together for like a couple of minutes. What you're trying to do is not just incorporate the ingredients, you're also trying to make sure that that sugar dissolves into the butter, okay? Okay, now a couple of other things that you're going to need to remember is you're going to need some salt. And it seems like kind of an odd thing to put into cookies, but the salt isn't so that you can taste the salt. It's really honestly just to kind of marry all the flavors together. You don't need a lot of it. You need just about maybe a half a teaspoon, and that's it. And really, in pretty much any dessert, you need to put salt in. Okay, this looks pretty well creamed. Let's get some eggs in there. Now, I always crack eggs into a little bowl, not because it's super cool and it looks really, really fancy, but because if there's any like shell, you can pull it out immediately, or that red stuff that sometimes you get, and it's, well, let's be honest with you, it's blood. You get those in eggs sometimes too. You put that straight into your batter and you've ruined your batter. Don't use the egg if it's got blood in it, just toss it, okay? So that's why I always crack eggs into a separate bowl. 2 eggs. In they go. Okay. Vanilla. I don't always measure vanilla. Most of the time I just like glug a couple of little things in there, but you know, since you guys are watching, I'll go ahead and measure. And this is a tablespoon. It seems like a lot. It is, but there's nothing better than vanilla in a cookie. Okay, a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Just a little pinch. And that's all you need. Okay. Next up, peanut butter. This is 2 cups of peanut butter. Remember, don't use hippie peanut butter. You'll never get the consistency you need, and your cookies will not set, and you'll just have a liquidy mess, and it's just gross. And if you want to, you can use, yes, I always make this much of a mess. If you want to, you can use chunky peanut butter. I don't like it, but you can use it if you want to. Or you can always add, you know, chopped peanuts. It's totally up to you. Okay. That's the peanut butter. Oh, look, there's some on the counter. Okay. Flour. This is 3 cups. Go slow. Mostly because you will have a cloud of flour everywhere. Just go a little bit at a time. And remember, this is a doubled recipe. But believe me, when you make these, your family's going to go crazy. They're so rich and they're so delicious. And you will end up making double recipes, trust me. And this is how easy it is. I mean, you're watching this in real time. Doesn't take any time at all to put these cookies together. These are a fabulous cookie for like a bake sale, or, you know, just because you need a cookie. Okay, and you can hear the motor. This is a really thick batter. Give it another bit of a whirl, and you're done. Peanut butter cookies, just waiting to be put on a tray. Okay, now get all that off of there. And you'll see it hardly even sticks to the beater. And that's because, well, you know, you've got a cup of butter and peanut butter in there. So it comes off the paddle really easily. Okay. I'm telling you, my mother is over here. She's going to stop eating that peanut butter. I need a scoop. Hold on. Okay. So we're going to scoop these onto a tray, and you need a fork because you're going to make that little signature crosshatch thing. This is just a little teeny tiny baller, and it makes the perfect size cookies, and it makes cookies all uniform. And not only does it look cool, and you feel kind of like real fancy using it, but it helps the cookies all cook at the same time, and you don't get one big cookie and one little cookie, and that way they all cook perfectly at the same time. And see how easy this is? I mean, this is great. The best thing about this particular recipe is it's super easy to make. It's super delicious. And in about 20 minutes, you have delicious peanut butter cookies. Okay, now crosshatch the cookies, because that's just what they do, right? Down. And then crosshatch. And that's your traditional peanut butter cookie. And look how easy it is. I mean, it's so silly. And it's such a great cookie to have in your repertoire. Preheat your oven at 350. Let's go put these in. Okay, so we've got peanut butter cookies in the oven. Now we're going to make chocolate croissants. These are super easy. Puff pastry from the store. Now, here's the thing about puff pastry from the store. It's frozen, and you cannot defrost it quickly. You have to take it out of your freezer or bring it home from the store from the freezer and put it in your fridge overnight. There is no doing this fast, so don't try to take any shortcuts, okay? So if you're gonna do these, make sure you get this with at least a day ahead, okay? Pizza cutter. Open up the sheet of puff pastry and cut down the seams. So this is the first ingredient. Second ingredient, chocolate chips. Whatever kind you like. These are bittersweet. Use semi-sweet. You can use the different flavors that are out there. They've got, like during Christmas, they have mint chocolate chips and they have cinnamon chocolate chips. Whatever kind of chocolate chips you want. Heck, you can even use a mixture of white and dark chocolate chips. Fabulous, okay? So you've cut it into 3 strips. Now you're gonna cut them into 3s again. And do you have to have a pizza cutter? No, I just like it because it's fancy. Okay, so you have a square of puff pastry. Don't be afraid of puff pastry. It's not gonna bite you, okay? And it's super easy to work with. Just remember, it's gotta stay kind of cold, so work fast, okay? And then these are straight out of the freezer. I always keep my chocolate chips in the freezer because they hold their shape a little bit better when you bake them. Now these are going to completely melt in the oven. You need to preheat your oven, by the way, to 400, okay? And put a bunch in there because they're really gonna hold in. Okay, now you're just gonna roll. Just gonna roll, and then seal off the edges. And ta-da-da, you have a chocolate croissant. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so you have your square. Don't worry about it if they're not completely square, because clearly you can tell geometry is not my forte. Just spread them out a little bit if you need to. This one's square, it's good. And I'm talking a lot of chocolate chips. You can't put enough in. Ooh, and here's the good thing about these. They're just as good the next day after the chocolate has cooled down and it's gotten solid again. Oh my God, they're so good. Make a bunch of them. Your family's gonna really love these. Okay, put them together, roll it up, and then seal like that. And then put it like that up on your baking sheet. Now, I would use parchment or a Silpat. A Silpat is just a baking sheet. It's a silicone baking sheet, or parchment paper, because if you get chocolate that leaks out a little bit and it leaks out onto your cookie sheet like that, it's a bear to try to clean up. So just use something underneath it. That way, if for some reason these open up and you get chocolate leakage, then you don't have to worry about it. Just take that Silpat, because that comes right off the Silpat, or with parchment paper, because that works perfectly. And then these take about, well, it depends on how fast your oven is, how hot your oven is. In my oven, these take about 10 minutes. What you're looking for is a golden brown color, and for the puff pastry to have puffed up. And you don't have to do anything else to them. You don't have to brush them with butter. You can, if you want to, you can dust them with some sanding sugar. Those are the bigger pieces of sugar that you see in bakeries. You can if you want. It's up to you. Me personally, I like them just like this. So in about 15-20 minutes, you're gonna have some delicious chocolate croissants. Okay, so last dessert we're gonna make today is a strawberry parfait. And I got my strawberries over there. Can you have strawberries? I'm sorry. Okay, so these have been macerating, and all macerating sounds kind of NC-17, doesn't it? No, no, no. All macerating means is that you sliced them up and you put some sugar on them, and it's starting to get a little bit softer, okay? So these have been in a little bit of sugar for about, I don't know, like 20 minutes. They're so good. Oh, I love strawberries. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna whip some heavy cream. Don't even try to get half and half. This will not work with milk. You have to have half and half. I mean, you have to have heavy cream. So yeah, this is not something you're gonna eat every day, or you can if you want, but you probably shouldn't because it's not good for you, but it's so delicious. So 3 cups of heavy cream. And again, if you want to do this by hand, you can. You'll probably drive yourself crazy, but get yourself a heavy mixer. It makes life so much easier. And then you need some sugar. And for 3 cups, you're probably going to need, I guess, about a cup of sugar, or not. It depends on how sweet you like the cream. So that's probably a little under a cup of sugar. Now, here's the bad thing about whipping heavy cream. It's obnoxiously long. So be ready. Start slow, or else you will have a colossal mess. Start slow. And just keep going up a little bit at a time. This is the 3rd notch, okay? And it's making a mess. That's the 4th notch. And we haven't even started getting thick. And it's throwing it all over my blouse. So that's why you have to start slow, because if you don't, it will be everywhere. Now this, usually with a big heavy stand mixer, it takes a good 5 minutes for it to get to where you really want it, okay? And you can add the sugar at the end if you want to. I always add it first. It just, if you're paying attention to like chefs, then you add it after it starts getting a little bit thicker. I just dump it all in at once. It works for me. So do what you want. Kick it up the next notch. We're getting a little thicker. This is a lot of cream, so I mean, this is a good dessert for like when you have a bunch of people over, and you can put it in a really pretty little antique glass with some delicious strawberries. And then we're gonna have some beaten up Nilla wafers. Let's do that right now, shall we? These are just regular mini Nilla wafers. Put them in a plastic baggie and beat them up. Into dust. And they're ready to go. Yep, still going. Knock it up another notch. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but it really is worth it. It's pretty good. And it's up. Look, we're getting thicker. Woohoo! Hit it all the way up. You're gonna love this stuff. It's so good. And done. See? Whipped cream, just like that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's what you do. First, put these in a really pretty glass. I mean, any kind of glass, it's gonna look really pretty and everybody's gonna be so impressed. And only you and I know how easy it was. Okay, put some strawberries in the bottom. You can make these smaller if you want. I like a big strawberry. And then some crushed cookies. And then some of your whipped cream. If you want to get all fancy schmancy, you can put this into a pastry bag so that you don't make a mess on the side of your glass like I did, but oh well. And then some more strawberries. And then a little bit more cookie. And this is such a great dessert for when you really don't have time to mess with dessert. You've got this stuff in your house. The only thing you probably need to go get is like the strawberries. But you can use these with blueberries. You could use this with like some frozen fruit, just make sure you defrost it. And then you can get a little fancy with the topping. Or not. Totally up to you. Dun-ta-da-da. And then just stick one right in there. There you go. Strawberry parfait. Looks pretty good. I'm tasting it. I don't know about you, but this is delish. Okay. Get a little bit of everything, a little bit of the cookies, a little bit of the cream, a little bit of strawberry. This is so good. OMG. You have so got to make this. And it's real refreshing. And you think to yourself, oh my God, it's heavy cream. It's so good. The cream is so light. I'm going to go check on some stuff in the oven. Okay, so dessert day, right? We have the perfect peanut butter cookie. Remember, don't use hippie peanut butter. Use real peanut butter from the store like your mom used to use. And then, a strawberry parfait with heavy cream and sugar and ground up Milo wafers. So fabulous, so delicious. Chocolate croissants, puff pastry, chocolate chips, and you've got a fabulous dessert. So the next time you want something sweet to eat, make it yourself. Oh my God, it is so good. Okay, I already tasted this. This is for my cameraman. He'll have a fit if I eat it. And then chocolate croissants. Oh, puff pastry. Listen to that. And melty chocolate on the inside. Man, oh man. Look at that. Look at that melty chocolate. These are so good. You could be making them. You could be eating them. Just like that. Bye.